guys, it's Grey Fox, and I am finally doing this. The Uncharted Retrospective of the first three. I recently completed the third game, and I just felt like, okay, I think it's time, because it's better than just talking about two games in one movie. So, yeah, so I'm deciding to talk about the first three games in the series and the movie. So I'm just gonna do that right now. Okay, so essentially, just like story pacing and characters. Well, it's going to be short for most of these. It's just like a brief thing. I'm not going to go into much detail about it. It's just going to be like my opinions. It's not like more of a review. It's just my thoughts when playing these games. So let's begin. Okay, I think the first Uncharted game was a bit meh. Like, even after playing the next few games, it's definitely very weak in terms of the game. Like the story's fine. It's a good story. I'm fine with that. Like, it is a good beginning. Like, I enjoyed it. But yeah, like what I'm saying, that if you're playing through the series and you notice that you play the later games and you're like, oh my god, this is much better than the last game. This is definitely what I seen when I played the next two games. I was like, oh crap, the first game was weak as shit in terms of like the game. Definitely not coming back. But I might come back for a second playthrough one time. Who knows? Always good to have a second chance of it. The characters are, well, you play as Nathan Drake, the main character. He was actually pretty, like, I didn't really understand him well until like the later games in the series. Like, I understand him more. Then there's his friend Victor Sullivan, aka Sully, best friend. Okay, before I tell you about shit that goes on in the games, I should have said spoilers. So there's going to be spoilers as well. Forgot to mention that. So, yeah. I think it was like chapter 3 or 4. He got killed, and I'm like, what the actual fuck? Like, this was like, I'm so blind with the games as well. Like, I didn't know he got killed in the games, because I watched the movie prior. No, I got up to the second game when I watched the movie, so that's the thing. Bad idea, probably. Yeah, so he got killed, and I'm like, what the fuck? He got killed in the first game, and I'm like, is he gonna come back? Well, turns out he does come back in the end, so I'm like, God, I wonder if they'll do this again in another game. Wink, wink. What else was I saying? Oh, and then there was like another character called Alina Fisher, practically the love interest of Nathan Drake of this game. She was alright, I guess. She was fine. And there was like, I forget the villain names, but I felt like it was an interesting boss fight at the end. It was intense. Like, okay, I actually struggled at the end with fighting this guy, because there's like about 4 checkpoints throughout the boss fight. Like, if you fail the first checkpoint, you get sent back to the start. It's dumb. No, I think there's like about 3 checkpoints actually. Yeah, I think there's like 3, and I actually struggled doing the final blow to the guy, because I didn't know, and I had to search up how to do it, and I actually found out what it was, because I was supposed to immediately attack him, not hide behind a wall. So I was so dumb on that. Another aspect of this game that I didn't really know about was the treasures in the game. Like, I thought they were mandatory, but turns out they were the secondary objective of completing the game, so they weren't necessary to progress. But when I come back to this game after playing Lost Legacy, I might come back and hunt down all the treasures in the game with a guide, like I did with Uncharted 3 and 4. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next game, which is Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. Now, before I start this, I want to say that I thought it would be a continuation after the events of the first game. Well, no. It starts off with fucking Nathan Drake falling from a train. Nothing what the first game ended up with. Okay, I was so confused. I was so thrown off from this. I'm like, is this probably like the Uncharted lore? Like it starts randomly out of nowhere. So I'm like, okay. Seems like I felt like it was intense as well. Like I was like interested. Turns out it is an event later in the game, and I'm like, holy crap, that is amazing. So, so yeah, I found like that was pretty cool. The characters stay the same, except there's two new characters introduced as your side characters. Harry Flynn and Chloe Fraser, which I already know who Chloe Fraser was. She was in the Uncharted movie. Um, I found they were pretty cool characters until like chapter 12. They became like dicks or something, and they betrayed me in the game, something like that. And then of course Victor, Sully Sullivan, and Elena Fisher came into the game much later, which was interesting. Um, that's all. The boss fight, I find it a bit interesting. Like I found it more intense than the first game, but I thought I was never gonna get it done. Like I'm like, holy crap! No wonder why. Um, nah, I'm not gonna say that. Um, it was so hard. Like it was just hard to concentrate. Like all you had to do was run away from the angry man and blow up those blue bomb things in front of his face and destroy it. And then when I eventually killed him, I'm like, holy crap! I actually finished the second game in the franchise. Um, Overall, I actually think this was better than the first game. I'm going to say that a lot for the series because it gets much better from here. And plus, I think the next game I'm going to talk about is my favorite one in the original trilogy. So, yeah, Uncharted 2, pretty cool. I liked it. Pretty fun. So, now we're on to the next game. Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. Okay, this game, okay. I actually liked this game. This game was actually fun. Like, a lot of people are going to say, oh yes, you're going with a generic opinion about saying the third game is the best one in the PS3 trilogy, the original trilogy. Well, they're not wrong about saying that this is the best game in the trilogy, the original trilogy. I actually enjoyed the whole, like it was like one of the last chapters. I liked the whole desert, um, no, the plane escape, the escape from the plane crash, desert, storyline. I liked that. That was actually okay. I know how it's you get illusions in the desert. I actually found it funny how they disappeared. Like it's actually um fu- can't say anything. Um Weird. Like it's a weird. It's like very weird. Like it's so weird that it's happening. Like you're like, oh, I'm imagining stuff. Like when Sully came and you thought that was Sully, but it wasn't. And I'm like, oh my god, that was fucking weird. It was so weird. Um, what else did I like about this game? Oh, the combat again has revamped, and I felt like it was much better than the second game. I felt that the second game had the same combat system as the first game, but the third game definitely changed it up, I guess. What else? Um, oh, okay, okay, this is probably going to be the only difference in an Uncharted game from what I played. So, the last chapter, oh, okay, before I talk about like what I said in the first game, Sully died. Well, they did a fake out Sully death again with the villain shooting Sully in the chest, but apparently it was still Nathan Drake's illusions from the desert, and then when Sully came back, he said to Drake, "Oh, that was probably your delusions from when you were in the desert." So that was actually, it actually scared me. Like, it actually was going to be the end of Sully, and I'm like, oh my god, of course he comes back like that. It's just crazy shit. It was funny though. It was hilarious. So what I was saying, I think this might be the only Uncharted game to do this. I'm not sure because I haven't finished Uncharted 4. I'm only up to chapter 5, so I haven't even really gone into the game yet. What was I saying? So the final chapter, you like always expect like a major, hard, bitter fight with the main antagonist of the game. Well, you don't really fight the antagonist. It's just more of a cinematic of like destroying the crane they were trying to get a treasure from the water, and you blow it up. But later on, you fight the antagonist. I forgot. I don't. I fucking forgot his name, but I think it's Balbot. I don't know. I don't really remember his name. I don't really remember the villains' names because they're so weird, and I don't know. I only focus on the main characters, unfortunately. But I felt like that was intense, that melee fight with that character, because the villain sank through like sub sand or something. I don't know, quicksand, and died. And that's why this fight with the secondary antagonist came about. So overall, I think it was actually like the ending, of course. The ending comes up with like Sully giving Drake a ring to give to Alina, and practically engaged, which leads into the fourth game, which I won't say because everyone knows probably by now if they've played Uncharted 4 by chapter 4. Yeah, chapter 4. You would have known by now. Even I know because I'm past chapter 4. Okay, I'm out of breath, mate. Okay, so that was Uncharted 3. Great game, best game of the original trilogy. Now we are going to talk about the Uncharted movie. It was something. I understood a lot of the character tropes by playing through by playing a full game and that first half of the second game. I understand it a bit better. Like, if I watched it now, I would understand it way more because I've been playing Uncharted 4, so by the time I finish Uncharted 4, I'll be watching this movie on 4K, hopefully, and I'll be rewatching it, and I'll like it more. What I was thinking, I felt like it was a good movie, like it was fun, and, I enjoyed, the storyline a bit, like it was interesting. I did get like a lot of the Uncharted feel, like it actually did feel like it take a lot of from the source material the movie was based on. Like I got a lot of Uncharted vibes, even though it is an Uncharted movie. Why am I stating the obvious? Yeah, it was actually a good movie. It didn't ruin the formula. It was good, my opinion, by the way. When I think about the one of the post-credit scenes being a teaser to a sequel, I think it's actually a good sign that it's going to have a sequel, because it did succeed in box office, and Sony does want to continue with the movies. If they can replicate the Sonic movie success, I think this will be a outstanding another outstanding video game movie series. So that was the end of my Uncharted retrospective. I know this sounds like a bit rushed because I didn't really have much to say about each game, but 15 minutes and a bit is fine enough by me. I'm happy with this. If you guys would like to see me do more like this, let me know and I'll do that. I don't think I'll be able to burst through a series this long ever again, because this is like, how many times have I burst through a series that I never touched ever? No, I think this is the only time I will ever do it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys, I don't know when I'll see you guys next, maybe April Fool's, because April Fool's is like 2 weeks away, I guess. 2 weeks away, you'll see it. It's just a minute video, by the way. It's already prepared. You see it on my webpage. You'll see it there. It's there. You'll probably know what it is. It's not me talking, because I'm not going to see the movie. Okay, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.